Hi, I'm the Rogue Reviewer. I've just got back from Cineworld. They had the Secret Screaming Night tonight. So it was a horror film tonight, and the movie was Good Boy. So I'm going to give you my instant reaction to the film and my overall score. So here we go. Okay, so just back from the cinema, I watched the movie Good Boy. Wow, this was a really strange movie. It's a horror film from the perspective of a dog. So the film was directed by Ben Leonberg, and starred Shane Jensen and Indy the dog. Basically, the owner of the dog is not feeling very well. He has like terminal cancer, and he decides to go to live in the forest in a creepy house that was haunted with his dog. As the film's going on, the owner is completely oblivious to kind of the supernatural dark entities that are living in this house and in the surrounding forest. But the dog, he can sense everything. He's getting scared in every scene, all over the place, getting creeped out by jump scares, movements. Yeah, it's a really strange horror film. Eventually, the owner does realize something is happening in the house, but by that point, it's kind of a little bit late. But it's an unusual film because the whole film is from the perspective of the dog getting just terrified in this haunted house. It almost has a little bit of kind of like an Evil Dead kind of presence about the house, and there isn't really much dialogue. It's more kind of like atmospheric tones and creaky doors and creaky rooms and like sounds that coming from other rooms. But yeah, it's a strange one. Okay, as an overall film, it's kind of a hard watch because there isn't any dialogue. It's all from the perspective of a dog. But at the same time, you do feel quite anxious while you're watching it from the dog's point of view. You're anxious for the dog, and you know that there's something creepy going on, and you're just waiting for it to happen. There's a lot of build up to this film without actually much happening, but it does get you a few times where there's a few jump scares in there. So the atmospheric tones of the films are really good. The cinematography is actually, it's a really good location. It's very reminiscent of the Evil Dead kind of cabin. Unfortunately, at times this film felt really tedious and it was just plodding along. And there were some kind of good scares and jump scares, but it's still from the perspective of a dog, and it's kind of sometimes hard to relate to those moments. And you kind of just want them to get to the end or get to the meat of the horror story, which doesn't really come until the very end. And then by that point, it feels a bit of an anticlimax. The cinematography, I said, is good. The setting is good. It just needed a bit more meat with the story and a little bit more understanding what the horror element was about the film and about the scary cavern. But yeah, this one wasn't really for me. One thing I have to say though, for a film that fully relies on the acting of a dog, Indy does a good job. Some of the reactions to the different creepy moments are actually pretty good. The dog itself is adorable. You're really rooting for the dog, and you want it to be a good boy and save its owner. But unfortunately, it's not quite enough to fill a whole movie just from the perspective of a dog. But yeah, I have to give props to the dog. He does some good acting in this one. Okay, so I'm going to go to my overall score. I did like some elements of this film, but it wasn't enough for me. Especially, I'm quite a big horror fan, and this didn't do it for me in terms of all the great horror films I've seen this year. Good Boy is definitely not in the top 10 list for 2025. I'd probably give this a disappointing 5.9 out of 10. Um, I would, yeah, give it a go. Let me know what you think. But for me, yeah, it's a bit of a disappointing first horror film for the Halloween season. But anyway, I'll see you on the next one.